The following is a presentation of TFNN. Live at TFNN, the Power Trading Hour, with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
Another excellent edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, and squeezably soft host, looking for a new name, getting rid of the koala of Wall Street. Just, I can't stomach it with koalas being all over the baby diaper changing station now. It just haunts me. I'm thinking maybe the liger, the combination of a tiger and a lion, the liger of Wall Street. How would that be? You know, the tiger ate the guy's head in Las Vegas, so you know maybe that's a little too violent. But I'm not sure. They don't really know a lot of lions that have attacked their trainers. Certainly know a lot of tigers that have. But maybe the liger, half tiger, half lion. Maybe that's a good combination. You never know. Anyway, as we get into the market today, marsupial of Wall Street. Yeah, you never know. You got to have a name. Like I said, we were discussing Steely Dan. You got to have a name when you lose. They call Alabama the Crimson Tide. They call me Deacon Blues. And since Deacon Blues is taken by that song, I figured I needed something else. Liger of Wall Street. Well, we'll never know. But I'll continue my search. We've got a market that is up, and no big surprise for me. I suspected that we were going to bounce up. I'm kind of surprised that we actually got this much this quick. I'm looking for us to top out somewhere around Tuesday or Wednesday next week. There were several reasons why we were expecting this bounce. One was just the pessimism that grew, especially when I was watching CNBC and everybody was calling for another 20 or 30 points down. I figured that we were probably at the bottom right there. The other things were a lot of stocks testing lows on lighter volume or getting very close to it. And some of the other reasons we're going to get into today are just, well, I guess I'll just say it now, so not wait till later. There are 12 IPOs coming out this week, all in pretty close into one sector. And we'll talk about those if I get a chance today, but none that I want to invest in. But just that we had 12 of them, most of them in pharmaceuticals or biotech. Probably a good indication of just how high we are on the bubble of those. They have been going up really high. But one thing that you can tell is that generally you won't be able to get stocks out of questionable vitality in a market that is going down. It's just awful hard when everybody's selling everything to sell more just so you can raise cash to go buy something else at an IPO. And normally you'll find that it's very rare that they'll push out this many IPOs in a certain sector unless they're pretty certain that they think the market will at least flatten out and the mood will change. So another reason that it's at, but I think we're looking at something like Tuesday or Wednesday next week. But wasn't going to be surprised to see this market stumble ahead, stumble a little behind. This is one of these things where it's 5 steps forward, maybe 3 steps back over the next few days, and then maybe 5 steps forward to our eventual high next week maybe. We, of course, have job numbers in the morning. Those are probably going to make a fairly decent effect in the marketplace. One of the other reasons was that the Fed, not only the Fed, but all around the world, when you are trying to get rid of a bubble, you just don't go up there and take a giant balloon and stick a lit cigarette into it and watch it burst. Especially the Fed, they're all about making sure it is what they call orderly. As long as the sell-off was orderly, we don't care how much money you lost. You could have lost it all. But as long as it took 10 months to lose it all, it's fine. That's basically the theory of the Fed is they know that they can push markets around for a while. In the end, though, the markets are bigger than them. And whether it's the bond market that's going to actually take them out to the woodshed, or the equity market, or the jobs market, they can work at the edges, but the market is always the final arbiter of what is right and wrong in the world, and it will, even if it takes 5 years, come back to bite you. I tell the story of sitting in the it wasn't Buffalo Wild Wings. What was it? Beef O'Grady's. That's what it was. Beef O'Grady's up from the old TFNN office in late 2001. And Tom and I were all saying that the market down here for housing was going to blow up and blow up spectacularly. And I think it was the second worst market here in Pinellas County in the United States, if I'm not mistaken, maybe third. But you could see it in 2002. It took another 5 years to blow up. But leverage, excess leverage, always going to be a case of it. Too easy of money. Everybody thinks that everybody should own a house. A lot of people probably not responsible to own a house. And, of course, leverage, super leveraged loans, just an invitation for the first even small rainstorm to wash a lot of people out. But it's an interesting market. And now, the most important thing is a volume as we come back up here. I was normally we've been starting off these last few days with about 2.5 billion shares in the consolidated New York Stock Exchange tape. We've got 2.4, a little less. But my guess is that if this is going to be a ABC down, then the next 20 points in the S&P cash, we should start seeing the volume really drop out fairly soon. Okay, just reading in the den if there's anything in here. That's it. Anyway, we're going to go through a lot of charts today. There's a few news items that I might pick up over, but I'm going to kind of leave off where I started this morning, and that is looking at charts in this market that have recently looked like they've found support or resistance. And we'll talk about them a little bit. Probably the most important stock for us, at least in the broad markets right now, is IBM. We've had a little bounce off here. I did bring this up in the first hour of a TFNN programming today, and that is just that, you've had basically three lows out here. The October 17th low with 22 million shares at 172.57. You come into it with less than half. So pretty good indication that you're not, it's going to be awful tough to come back and break this. The September 16th low at 7.5 million shares at 172.73. Now, you didn't break it, so there's still fairly decent odds that you're going to come back here and retest it. And, of course, we retested it, lighter volume. This time we did pierce that first low. We've closed back above it. As Richard Wyckoff, who basically started price and volume trading in probably, 1910, 1915, pretty much said, we've got this third low out here. And it is, basically confirming what we've seen. You also have a higher volume high than the last time at 190. You first 186 high out here on November 20th had 5.3 million shares. You actually went through it on the 7th of January with 5.9 million shares. You get even a higher volume out here. So, the thing, wheels did finally fall off of it. So I'm not expecting a whole lot more. But it would be out of the realm that we could see a move back up to 184 on IBM. Could be. I don't think we're going to get that big of a bounce. But these are the stocks that I'm looking at right now to give us an indication of what we think is the future in these markets. Another one I was watching was iRobot. They came out with earnings last night. Everybody says that children are our future. I think not. I think robots are our future. In fact, if I had some kids, I'd be investing in robots. Anyway, IRBT. Certainly a huge day out here, and decent volume. But these are the people that make all these little Roombas and all these other, for the most part, I'm going to call them toys. They haven't significantly gone on to any specific major chore, although I think this company hangs around long enough, maybe they can. I always loved robots. I bought one of the Lost in Space robots, and 20th Century Fox came and took it back. They said the people that had that sold it to me had no right to sell it to me, and ended up not getting my money back, but always upset that I didn't, that they snagged it back from me, and I digress. Anyway, but that was the B-2 robot. I actually had the guy that designed it with the original blueprints and had him sign it and met him. I got a picture of him here somewhere. Anyway, other stocks of interest. And somebody's talking about GMCR. I don't know. It's probably only been covered about 5 hours already today on CNBC. I don't know what more I can say about it. We talked about this one this morning, and we had a small problem.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
Well, apparently we did. So some people said that I called this stock a scam, and I could kind of see where I didn't make it real clear. I was reading the profile since I knew nothing about this company. I just saw it show up and thought it was interesting. And Korn Ferry International. What does a company called Korn Ferry International do? I didn't like that. I always like to know what a company does by at least somehow. What do these guys do? Are they in agriculture? Are they anywhere else? But not only could I not tell what they did from the title, I dug into what they had and said about the company. And it got into a lot of sophistry and other things like that. And normally, if you can't tell me in the first sentence of a profile what your company does, I'm starting to wonder, one, you're either not proud of it or you don't even know what it is. Now, these guys know what they're doing. They're in staffing. And I was kind of made a little bit light of it. But, what can you say? Hey, we're going to get more into a little bit about this when we get back.
With over 3 decades of trading experience, Andy Hecht brings a tremendous amount of knowledge and expertise to each weekly issue of his newsletter, the Technomental Commodity Report. The Technomental Commodity Report gives you Andy's unique technomental analysis of the commodities market, a combination of technicals and fundamental analysis which he has developed and perfected over his many years of trading. The Technomental Commodity Report is only $49 a month, and right now you can get a full month-long trial subscription while paying absolutely nothing. See for yourself the kind of weekly report Andy delivers to his subscribers every Thursday morning. You'll receive specific stock, ETF, and option trades based on Andy's analysis, so no futures account is required. For all the details and to start your month-long free trial to the Technomental Commodity Report, visit TFNN.com today.
With the launch of Tiger TV, TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With Tiger TV, you can gain access to each host's charts and computer screens as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, David White, Larry Pezzavento, Andy Hecht, Victor Jones, or Terrell Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on Tiger TV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out Tiger TV, then visit TFNN.com and see what you're missing.
You've always taken the long view when it comes to investing, but what if there's an opportunity right under your nose? What if you could be more responsive to market trends to seek to boost your portfolio performance right now while seeking to reduce your overall risk? At Direction Funds, we connect investors with alternative strategies that seek to maximize their returns. Smart investors deserve smart alternatives. Find yours at directionfunds.com. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risk, charges, and expenses of Direction Funds carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Funds. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact the Direction Funds at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. Investing in index funds may be more volatile than investing in broadly diversified funds. Distributed by Rafferty Capital Markets, LLC. Wouldn't it be great if you could get a red light, green light indicator that gives you signals on 25 different futures contracts? Now you can with Taz Signal Box. This red light, green light market profile system dynamically updates 24 hours a day and provides you with important trend and trade signals on 9 different commodities, 9 different indices, and 8 different currencies. Right now you can receive a 2-week free trial to Taz Signal Box. For all the details and to find out how the Signal Box works, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
What, no music? Just a drop. Oh. I can always tell that they're late coming back in. I have my own music, so drop this out. I'm going to just take over this show in the engineer's position and play my own music. We do have breaking news out here.
Breaking the law, 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 breaking the law.
Well, we are breaking law. Not us, but they did find Martiroma guilty. This is the guy from the SAC, brouhaha. And we'll find out a little bit more of what's going on in that SAC. But the kingpin on it, probably going to avoid criminal prosecution. The question is, does this guy roll over and give more information for a civil lawsuit? Much like the former governor of New Jersey and MF Global, it looks like we may have to wait until we get to a civil case before we find the truth out, and we'll find out soon. But he may roll with prosecutors, and that would be very interesting to find out exactly what did go on and when it went on and when other things happening. Anyway, we're talking about my failure to communicate. I was actually talking about the flowery language about Corn Ferry this morning. And maybe being a little bit too flippant, but you go through 50 stocks in a day or something, you're not going to know all of them, and why I had to go to the profile, and why I was ticked off that in the first sentence I didn't know what these guys do. In fact, most of the time, if someone can't tell me what they do in one sentence, and probably at the same level that 11th grader 11-year-old person would understand. Maybe you just don't know it well enough. That's at least what Einstein said. So probably a fine company, and I'm sure they love their kids out here. More important is they tested the low on lighter volume out here, and the energy coming back down to that low was lighter. But if you think I've made a mistake, you can always email me at path@tfnn.com. But anytime I start hearing a lot of flowery language, I smell somebody trying to put their hand in my pocket. And that's what I smelled this morning. Anyway, we've got other stocks out here. What else? Lexicon Pharmaceuticals. And this is one of the few pharmaceuticals down here at the bottom, but certainly not a lot of volume. I'm going to keep an eye on some of these. Of course, the worst hit in this last downturn were the very small cap stocks. Not uncommon to find these. And we may have had a washout in some of these. This did get down to $1.65, $1.65, let me put it that way, yesterday. But going up against the previous low at 170, or $1.70, with 5.5 million shares, 1.4 million shares, looks pretty good. So a lot of stocks out here. We did hit this in the first hour today when I sat in for Steve Rhodes. And this was a lazy boy. I think we talked about this before the market opened, but or soon after. I think it was up 38 cents. A lot of these stocks are probably going to be hard to get out of the gate, but there are a ton of them out here. And if I was bullish in this market, there are more than enough of these that are showing some strength. LZB is one of these things. Took off with high volume at almost 2.2 billion shares on the on November 20th. Came back down here into these lighter levels. So anyway, what else do we have? OLN. And this one, Olin Corporation. For some reason, I always remember them making things like solvents to clean my guns with. I wonder if is this the same company? Olin. Let's see. We're going to the profile again here, which I found out already is dangerous. Chlorine alkaline products in the United States operates in 3 segments, chemical distribution and Winchester. That must be it. And Winchester, the gun thing. Kind of vaguely remember cleaning my guns with their chemicals. So a bunch of chemicals, caustic cleaners, laundry bleaches. Kind of interesting, this thing had a nice highs right around here in these high 25s and up to $26. Had a nice gap up. It's actually finished filling that gap out here today. That gap actually did come up on 4.4 million shares on the 2nd of December. We're filling that out here in 2.1, but for the most part, not all that bad. But these things are getting back to support levels. We'll be right back in a moment. Give me a call, 877-927-6648.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock in option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
No matter where you listen to TFNN programming, we want you to know you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones and iPads, located at the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can't use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a mobile connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all of our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and radio call and talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com. Educating investors.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's Nadex.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors. Daryl Martin coined the phrase diagnostic trading, and we're happy to announce that his diagnostic box spread analyzer has finally been released. The Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer helps you easily identify the best box spreads on Nadex in seconds, plus you receive access to the diagnostic deviation levels, as well as step-by-step training videos teaching you how to trade Nadex spreads so you can quickly master the mechanics of this simple yet powerful trading instrument. By pulling live data from the Nadex exchange, the Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer does all the math for you, calculating risk, reward potential, distance to break even for both outright spreads and spreads used to hedge the underlying market. Visit the front page of TFNN.com today to get your 2-week free trial to Daryl Martin's Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer and gain access to the valuable information it can provide when trading the Nadex box spreads.
This segment is brought to you by Harmony Gold. For more information, just click the Harmony Gold banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Well, I'm getting a lot of email with people with suggestions of what I should be. I'm not exactly sure what all these horses laying down in the sand are supposed to be. And an alligator with a gar stuck in it, a tiger licking water, a bunch of dogs, elephant in the ocean, some guy with a seal, a guy riding a tiger, and another alligator. The alligator of Wall Street just doesn't snap. The crocodile, if it was Crocodile Dundee, maybe. The wolf of Wall Street, already taken. And there's a bunch of baboons. I don't know about that. The baboon of Wall Street. Some lions and tigers. Anyway, I got a lot of people. And he ends with this. You're 8 times more likely to be killed by a police officer than a terrorist. This is from Cato Institute in 2012. All I can think of is... when I read that was that deal in L.A. where the police sheriff or the deputy was running around shooting everybody. He was a big guy, and eventually they caught him in some cabin and burned the whole thing down on him. But before they did that, they were looking for a pickup truck with him in it, and the guy had to be 6 foot tall and 280, and so a bunch of these cops shot, 70, 80 rounds into a truck that was similar but a different color. And these ladies were delivering newspapers, and they happened to be like Hispanic and not black. And I can only think of that every time it comes up. But not only that, but with 80 shots, they didn't hit anybody. So I don't know what that says about the state of law enforcement out in L.A. County, but interesting nonetheless. We're going to go look at some more things. Open Table. Actually had somebody in the den asking about VMware. And, not bad. This thing needs to close back above basically just a little, $91 would probably be it, and it's right at this level. But again, I'm not big on the market. Now, maybe the market comes in with higher volume over the next few days and tells me we're going to go back up to 1840, but somehow it's awful hard for me to believe that that will happen. I'm looking for us to stumble up maybe another 20 points, so hard for me to get a read on that. When we look at the next one, which is open table, I think this one's probably a little bit better. It's already moved out of the way, but I had these all in my newsletter this morning. But it is a nice little bounce out of here. And what can you say? It is, you had a huge gap up, 3.3 million shares on the 6th of November. You came back down with this thing, and you got 700,000 shares. And now you're getting a nice little pop out of it here today. I like the fact that the energy on the way up on this was good and strong on the way back down. The energy really hasn't accelerated that much, and not a bad-looking one. Did want to bring up a fact that we do have a special on my daily newsletter. We're going to be adding some new things to it, and if you go to the front page of TFNN.com and check out, you'll see a little blurb on there for looking at my newsletter. You'll be able to sample it for 30 days. For no cost. If you want to keep it after that, we're offering a special price, and we're going to be doing a webinar next Tuesday night. If you do go ahead and sign up today, we're going to be sending you a 15-page report about how to use options to trade equities. And it's not only going to be trading equities, you can trade options off of those also. But for the most part, what can options tell us about trading ETFs and stocks by the way people are placing their money in those options, and when it works, when it doesn't. And you'll find a 4F convention in 1906, space shuttle mission. You'll find us veering through television, TV shows that promise to make you a millionaire. There's lots of interesting sidebars out here in that 15-page report that will at least let you know about the wisdom of crowds. And I think it's well worth it. Spent a lot of time trying to write it, just like I said before, at the level of what Einstein said. If you know it well enough, you should be able to explain it to an 11-year-old. And I think if an 11-year-old was interested in it, they could understand most of it. And I know a lot of people signed up yesterday, so waiting for some of the feedback to come in. But you certainly can do it and have it for the next 30 days for free. So go to the front page and check that out on TFNN. Anyway, we're looking at open here. This is what I'm looking at in patterns. Now, was there any heavy day down in this thing? There isn't. Still a bullish thing, but everybody that's listened to the show long enough will know that I think 50% of a trade is being on the right side of the market. And to tell you the truth, I can't say that being long is the right side of the market these days. Yeah, I think their earnings are after the close today on open. Anyway, we were looking at Pulte. I was kind of interested in that. These housing stocks continue to look somewhat weak, although we had high volume in the Pulte group. So you can look for a retest of the high. So I'm going to be watching this thing at $20.78. You get that high volume, even if it sells off. And even though we came back in and tested it the next day with 14 million shares, there's a lot of interest out there. Basically, you want to look at turning points in the market when everybody's bored with a lack of volume. So bored at the top, bored at the bottom. Even though we had kind of a intraday reversal on Pulte, I think that there's still interest up here. And when we get to just about a little under 21 bucks, this thing like today, when we're moving back up, is what you're looking for. You're looking for that thing either to accelerate in volume or everybody get bored and wander off, which I kind of do. Mentally, I do that all the time. Ruckus Wireless. Don't know much about this company either. I know enough, but interestingly enough, these are great setups in the marketplace. November 15th, $12.30, 2.3 million shares. We got 15 cents below it yesterday. The volume shrank to just 820,000 shares, and we had a nice pop. Especially what I liked about this one was the strong energy down, and okay, so we had a nice lighter volume pop up. But on this last leg down from the 15.55 high on January 8th back down to this 12.15 low, you did see that the energy really dropped about half of what we had in that first leg. And if you look down below, it's kind of easy to tell. The power law vector indicator numbers make it a little easier to say, hey, I need to look just a little tighter on this. But certainly when we look at those low numbers down here for the two lows at 12.30 and 12.15, not a lot of weird stuff going on there. Pretty congruent, as I like to say. Select Medical Holdings. Now this one, boy, it's got to be close in here where this thing's going to find support. This thing, it took off like a rocket from about 875 on the 10th of December with massive volume. We got back into it on January 10th with 3 million shares going up against that 6.6, almost 6.7 million shares on that December 11th pop up. And, if you could get this thing back at about 970, wouldn't be too bad. But a lot of these are setting up with lighter volume. This actually did test the January 10th low that had 3 million shares yesterday with 620,000 shares. So, would this move back up to that high at 1198? Or even just 1156? There may be a little trade in some of these. Again, I'm not going to be holding them overnight. I do not like to be in markets that I think are as weak as the one we have out here. What else do we have? ServiceSource International. Now, this one hasn't bounced yet. Energy, a little stronger on the leg down here. But certainly volume is not, and we're kind of going sideways here. So I'd be watching this one in the next couple of days. Maybe it will get a bounce. Symbol is SREV, and that is $7.76 on December 18th for the highest volume low out here. 1.8 million shares. And, of course, what do we have? 800,000, 500,000. Yesterday we have 600,000. Today about 5,000, a little doji out here. So there's still some stocks out here with some fairly decent risk reward. Just don't like a lot of them because of the broad market conditions. Certainly looks like we found at least a temporary low, though, in a lot of these. The December 16th low in Sensient Technologies, SXT, is $46.75, and that is 750,000 shares. And, what can you say? We did pierce it, 590,000 shares on the third, there. And, you went below that. You've now closed back above it. Not a bad looking setup out here either. I like that the energy really has been kind of meandering, and you're back into that congestion zone that started back in September of last year and ran into October, about the mid of October, before this thing actually broke out and went higher with higher volume. But could this come back to the gap at 45? Probably the reason I'd look at some of the other stocks I actually talked about. Again, you can give me a call at 877-927-6648. That's 877-927-6648. I should be hearing music right now. Shouldn't I? No, I've got some more time. I've got the wrong clock up. Well, pilot error yet again today. The second big mistake I've made today. So let me get this up here. Okay, I got 4 minutes left. You could play some music now, I guess, but that would be it. Let's check in with the markets here and just do a market thing. Let me clean up my desktop just a little here so we can get back to these. Just looking at some of these out here. Okay. We're at 1771 on the S&P cash. And what it was 1773 as the high today, 2.6 billion shares. I would have liked to seen probably closer to 2.8 billion shares at this time as we've had in previous day. So the volume is waning a little bit, maybe not enough. Maybe we see 1,800 on this bounce. But I'd certainly like to see that we get up there and the volume all starts to fall out, which it should, I think, in the next 10 to 15 points on the S&P cash. Just far too many shorts now. And two, could they hang this thing out to the end of expiration? The answer could be yes on that too. So we're going to look for signs that this market is truly ready to break. Talisman Energy, another one out here, if you're doing a little bit of bottom fishing, hasn't quite touched the low of August 14th that had 6.7 million shares at $10.34. Came within, 14 cents of that a few days ago, but just on 3.6 million shares. Pretty much into that candle. Didn't break it, but some of these stocks are going to be getting back there fairly soon. VRNT, Variant System. This is another one that is the perfect Wyckoff pattern out here. Took off with huge energy on the 6th. Nice price spread, what we like to call at TFNN a sign of strength. This thing's come back twice into this level where the gap is at 43.63, and first time 170,000 shares. Yesterday 220,000 shares, but nothing compared to that 1.6 million shares up that we saw on the 6th out here. So there's some stocks out here with some massive support, not that much lower, and I wanted to talk about all these. I think I brought this up in the morning. Maybe it was in the den yesterday. Memory's the second shortest thing I got here. Anyway, Whirlpool, WHR. This thing popped up on nice volume of 2.5 million shares on, June 19th. And that gap has pretty much not been tested until a few days ago in Whirlpool, 3.6 million shares. So a fairly decent low out here, but higher volume. This is, again, back to the theory that some of these housing stocks are a little bit weaker. So we do need one more retest, and it would have to be on lighter volume. And, of course, we did have a higher high in Whirlpool also with lighter volume. Needless to say, though, we were probably going to find at least some support between the 120, 125 range in Whirlpool. But as I'm watching a couple of stocks, this is going to be at least a canary in the coal mine for the housing market. We shall be back in just a few minutes. Andy is very quiet today. Haven't heard hide nor hair about him. Anyway, we'll be back in a minute.
Patterns, profits, and peace of mind.
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pesavento's trading newsletter,
Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind.
In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the Forex market, and more. You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you the edge you've been looking for. Try Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind absolutely free for 2 full weeks. That's an $85 value. Yours free when you register right now.
Get Larry's Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind.
And get the edge you've been looking for.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
We're told to follow our passion and everything else will fall into place. I hope that's what each of you are doing each and every day. Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Money Master Show at TFNN.com, and my passion for technical analysis is what led me to the most fundamental discovery in pattern recognition, the Rhodes Momentum Indicator, market scanner, and trading strategy. A set of tools that identify the momentum and power of the trend, the likes of which have never been seen before, for every market and every time frame. Yes, folks, the trend is your friend, unless you're on the other side. New to technical analysis? This is the place to start. And experienced traders, take advantage of the trend like never before. Experience the power of the Rhodes Momentum Indicator each day, available to subscribers of my newsletter service, Mastering Probability. I guarantee your satisfaction for the next 30 days, unconditionally, so there's no risk to you, other than being on the wrong side of the trend. Mastering Probability, available on the homepage of TFNN.com. And folks, live with passion.
Join Andy Hecht as he teaches you how to make money in commodities. The Commodities Hour, next on TFNN.
Oh, this is getting so tiresome, Bad 80s disco music. Is there anything more tiresome than that? Anyway, we've got Andy Hecht coming up here in just a few minutes. Andy has promised me that he's going to spend the entire hour talking about his odysseys with Bitcoin and his buddies. But maybe he'll have some time to squeeze in talking about natural gas and commodities. But I don't know. He seemed awful interested in talking about Bitcoin. But maybe he has ulterior motives. Maybe he's just handing me a red herring with that. But you never can tell. Anyway, we're gonna have a nice day out here, and a little bit of the pressure coming off these markets today. But again, looking for just a 50% bounce off this last move down, which would take us into that 1780, maybe 1790 range on the S&P cash. We're looking still under 2.7 billion shares, which is still a very good day, especially if we compare it to most days where we start the show at 2 billion shares through all last fall. And, of course, a pretty good indication that we were building a house on a foundation of sand. And the question is just how much farther we go down. I'd been expecting at least some intervention. I think we got part of that with the jawboning from the EU president this morning. I think we're probably going to see a little bit more, but a lot of these stocks a little bit oversold. I'm getting intelligence now about the level of shorts and the amount of bears in the market. One of the things that you do have to know about shorting a market is that it's going to make bears pay for a bearish move, and normally that is in patience. You've got to have an extreme amount of patience. Markets, even in bear markets, are probably going to close higher than the day before 75% of the time during that move. and they're going to make you wait for that 25% where the elevator cables break and it goes straight down and scares the living doo-doo out of most traders. And then, of course, it's going to find a base and make you wait a great deal more time. But the payoffs generally are so much faster, especially on options, that you can make some money. So we're waiting for the VIX and some of these other fear indicators to draw down. We're waiting for people to tell us that the bear move is over and to get back on this bull train. And we're waiting for the volume then to peter out and time to grab the gravy train once again. Again, you can go to the front page of TFNN and check out my daily newsletter. We're going to be doing a webinar next Tuesday night, and along with a 30-day free evaluation of my newsletter, you are going to be able to get a 15-page report on using options to trade equities, and a great deal of understanding the wisdom of crowds. And as Andy once said, a transparent window into what traders are thinking. So we'll be looking at those. We've got Andy coming up in just a minute. I don't know what he's going to be thinking about, but he's always interesting. I'm probably going to be talking more about coffee. And maybe I'd be more interested if I was a coffee drinker, but never really was a coffee connoisseur. I like orange juice in the morning. Maybe that's why I'm so slow to get moving in the morning too, is I don't have a caffeine rush. I used to drink Jolt Cola when it was around, but that's it. Ooh, here we hear Andy sneaking up behind. But what else do we have? We always want to remember: sell when you can, not when you have to. And we'll meet you here tomorrow, same bat channel, same bat time.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
You're watching Tiger TV.